Okay, students, so let us begin. Okay, so we are doing magnetic materials. We are almost towards the end of the chapter. So in the last session, we did ferromagnetism and what is hysteresis curve. Okay, I hope you all remember this. All right. And at the very end, I discussed this point. All right. What does this curve indicate? The area inside the curve indicates the loss. It is also called hysteresis loss. Okay. The area inside indicates the energy that is lost per cycle. This entire curve is one cycle. Okay, one hysteresis loop, or it is also called hysteresis cycle. So the area under it, just a minute, the area under it gives me the amount of energy that is lost. Okay, fine. So larger is the area, more is the loss. Okay, I think so that is what you all have written last time, the statement that I asked you all to write. Yes or no? Okay, fine. All right. So now let's move ahead. The next topic is permanent magnet and electromagnet. Okay. So what is a permanent magnet and what is an electromagnet? I think so you're already familiar with what permanent magnets are. What is an electromagnet? Now, as the name says, electromagnet means a material will act as a magnet only in presence of electric current. It is the same concept that we have been studying from the beginning. Okay, so if there is a material and if you all want to induce magnetization into it, okay, if you all want that material to become a magnetic material, you all will keep it inside a solenoid, right? Solenoid is a current carrying device. Okay, fine. Now we have different types of materials like diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic. Now if you all remember paramagnetic material, students, in paramagnetic material, if you all keep it inside the solenoid, all the dipole moments are set, okay, in one direction, and it will show magnetic properties. But as soon as you remove the solenoid, which means as soon as you all will remove the external magnetic field. Now in case of solenoid, this external magnetic field is because of the current that is flowing through the wire. Okay, so as soon as you always stop the current, the external magnetic field is gone, and the dipole moments inside the paramagnetic material will again go into random direction. So it has lost its magnetism. It cannot retain its magnetism. Okay, so such type of materials which show magnetic properties only in presence of electricity, okay, or only in presence of current, are called electromagnets. Okay, so that is what they have written over here. We'll just read it out quickly and you all can mark certain points. Okay, now there is something called soft iron. Okay, soft iron whose permeability is more than 1,000. Okay, I hope you all remember permeability. It is there in your textbook. uh, just a minute. Okay, this yellow box, all right, it explains everything about permeability. So it basically tells us about the number of magnetic lines of force that are passing through a given substance when it is kept in external magnetic field. Okay, so permeability gives me the number or the amount of magnetic lines of force that will pass from inside the material when it is kept in an external magnetic field. So for an iron, for a soft iron, there are two types of iron, okay, soft iron and hard iron. So for a soft iron, this value is almost above 1,000. That is what is written over here. Okay, fine. Just a minute. All right, so let's move it. So see, and small amount of retaining magnetization. Small amount of retaining magnetization means if you all remove the external magnetic field, you all won't see any magnetic properties inside that material. It does not retain the magnetic properties. Okay, which material? Soft iron. All right, that is the reason such type of materials are used to make electromagnets. All right, fine. For this purpose, a soft iron ore is placed inside the solenoid, whatever I explained to you all just now. So the same thing is happening and all. You all can just read this part later, okay? Here they have written where all these electromagnets are used, their applications and all. One common application that even you all know is this. Giant electromagnets are used in cranes to lift heavy loads made of iron. Okay, fine. So till the supply is there, it acts, that crane will act like a magnet. So if they have to drop that thing somewhere, they'll stop the supply. So the magnetic property is gone and the iron thing will immediately fall down. Okay, fine. All right. Um, Okay, so this was something about electromagnet. Now students, here in the same topic, they have also written something about permanent magnets from here onwards. Okay, so permanent magnets are prepared by using hard ferromagnetic rod. So there are two types of iron, right? Soft iron and hard iron. So soft iron is used as electromagnet and hard iron is used as a permanent magnet. Okay, fine. So see, here also inducing magnetization, the mechanism is same or the procedure is same. See, when the current is switched on magnetic field, solenoid will magnetize the rod, or that hard iron material will be magnetized. Okay, the hard ferromagnetic material has a property to retain magnetization. Okay, hard iron can retain magnetization. So even if you all remove the external magnetic field, it is still going to be magnetic. So we can use it as a permanent magnet. Okay, fine. So this is this topic, very simple, small topic. You all can just read and understand what is happening. Next topic is magnetic shielding. Now again, students, magnetic shielding topic, very simple. We can just understand looking at this diagram. Okay, fine. So you all can see there is north and south pole. So there is external strong magnetic field. Okay, moving from north to south. Okay. Here, students, you all can see this loop that is there. Okay, this structure that is there. Okay, it is an iron ring. All right, it is an iron ring. Now, for example, if you all have any material, okay, suppose any material, I have kept it inside, just a second, okay, in this area. You all can see the shielded area. I hope you all understand the meaning of shielding. Okay, shielding as in it acts like a shield. Okay, what acts like a shield? I'll get to it. So in this area, I have kept some material. I don't want that this material should be affected because of this external magnetic field. Students, see, magnetic field is present everywhere. Even if we don't keep magnets and all, there is some amount of magnetic field here and there. Okay, so if there is, just a minute. Kya hua Chhagan? What happened? Okay, fine. Yeah, so what I was telling. Okay, so if there is some material which you all don't want to be affected by the external magnetic field. Okay, wait a minute, Chhagan, was that a question? या फिर गलती से भेजा तूने? क्वेश्चन है तो अच्छे से लिख के भेज, क्या पूछ रहा है? Okay, so if there is something, any material which you all want to protect from the external magnetic field, what we can do is we can place an iron ring around that material. Okay, fine. See, I have kept a material. This mostly happens while doing, laboratories and everything. So if there is something and if some material, you don't want it to be affected by the external magnetic field. Okay, fine. What you do is simply keep an iron ring around that material. Okay. What this iron ring will do, this iron ring acts like a shield. Okay. Why? Because see, students, we know that iron that is there. Okay, soft iron or hard iron that is there, it is a good magnetic material, right? It will, all the magnetic lines of force which are there, all the external magnetic lines that are there, you all can see they've become a curve over here. Why? Because they are moving from inside the ring. You all understanding? Like rather than going like this, okay, rather than going from inside the shielded area, they will prefer passing from the iron ring. Okay, now because of this, what is the advantage that we are having? Because all the magnetic lines of force are passing from the iron ring, this area is protected from the external magnetic field. Okay, fine. You all are understanding? So this iron ring is acting like a shield, and inside this shielded area, that will depend on what application it is. Okay, for what we are using, what is the thing that we don't want to be affected from the external magnetic field. But this is how we can protect that a certain area by just keeping an iron ring. All the magnetic lines of force will prefer moving from the iron ring. Okay, fine. This is your paramagnetism and ferromagnetism concept, if you all remember. Okay, because in diamagnetism, the lines are repelled, but in paramagnetism, the lines go from inside the material, right? Because they are attracted. So that is what is written over here. Okay, see, when a soft ferromagnetic material is kept in a uniform magnetic field, you all can mark this first point. Large number of magnetic lines crowd up inside the material. Okay, so lot many magnetic lines will prefer going from inside the ferromagnetic material. All right, fine. Okay, see, if we have a closed structure of this material, say a spherical shell, the iron ring that was there in the diagram, very few lines of force will pass through the enclosed space. That is the space in between that ring. Okay, fine. So I think so the same thing is written. All right. Anything else? Okay, so that's it, students. These were the two theory topics that were left out. Okay. Let's now start with numericals. Okay, before that, please let me know if you all have understood till now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Chagan, was that a question? Please let me know if you wanted to ask any question. So वापस पूछो please. Okay, fine. All right. Now, students, like while we are doing numericals, I require inputs from your side as well. Okay, fine. There are some numericals which are like really little bit difficult, so don't worry about it. I'll explain that on my own. But the others that is there. Okay, before that, now this is from your target only. Okay. This is from the target or digest or whatever reference book you have. All right. What you all can do is, students, in your notebooks, you all can just write the title of the chapter and you all can make a formula page. I think so here they have summarized all the formulas that we have used or that we have seen in the chapter. Okay, fine. Okay, students, before that, um, there are certain topics that have been removed from your syllabus. Okay, now again they have not mentioned what all things are to be removed, like they have just written the number and the topic name. Now whether the theory part is removed or the numericals associated with that theory is also removed, nothing is mentioned. All right, so I will explain you all the numericals. You all practice and keep all the numericals. Okay, fine. Whether it will come or not in the exam, that we'll see later, but we should be prepared anyways. Okay, fine. So I'll get to that part later, which two parts are omitted. So these are the common formula, students. If you all remember, the first one we started with the torque derivation. So in that we obtained torque mb sine theta. Okay, then this is the u is the potential energy which is equivalent to the work done. So that was minus mb cos theta. Yes or no? I don't know if you all remember the derivation. So in that, this first derivation, so in that we did how to the time period derivation. Okay, the torque acting on magnetic. So we started with torque. All right, fine. Then potential, magnetic potential energy is nothing but equivalent to the work done. Okay, fine. And then all this solving part, and finally we obtain this equation: T is equal to 2 pi under root I upon mb. Now students, in this time period equation, if you all have to find the magnetic field, okay, if you all have to find B, you all can just modify the formula. Okay, that T is equal to 2 pi under root I upon mb. So square on both sides, shift here and there, you all write B equal to, if any numerical demands that. Okay, fine. Next, for revolving electron. All right, so the next derivation that was there, magnetic moment of an electron that is revolving around the nucleus. So here also we have seen a lot many things. So the orbital magnetic moment. Okay, orbital magnetic moment is evr by 2. So that is one formula. Okay, fine. Students, please stay with me. All right, there's no need to write it down now. It is there in your digest, so you can make a formula sheet later on. Okay, fine. Just pay attention now. Okay, so this evr by 2, students, can be modified as el by 2m e. Okay, el by 2 me. Me is mass of electron. Don't write simply m. Okay, because when you'll write simply m, you all might get confused with magnetic dipole moment, because magnetic dipole moment is also indicated by small m, right? An orbital magnetic dipole moment is indicated by m and orb, indicating it is orbital magnetic moment. So here, when you all are writing mass, see to it that you all write me. So you all understand it is mass of electron. Okay, fine. What else we have seen here? The angular momentum formula. Okay, this is according to that Bohr's postulate. The angular momentum is mvr. Again, m over here is the mass. All right, it is also nh upon 2 pi. So I think so even that is written over here somewhere. See, L is angular momentum and all. And this I is equal to E upon T. In fact, this is just the starting part of the derivation. Okay, fine. Just a minute. Next, gyromagnetic ratio, Bohr magneton. In fact, gyromagnetic ratio, I think so. Uh, just a minute, I closed the PDF only. Okay, wait. I'll open it again. Here, just let us just quickly go through this. E upon 2 me, student. E is the charge on electron. Me is the mass of electron. If you all solve this, you all will get some constant value. That is nothing but gyromagnetic ratio and Bohr magneton. I hope you all remember this: magnetic intensity and magnetization. Magnetization is inducing magnetic character into the material, and magnetic intensity is the cause because of which this is happening. Okay, fine. Both of them are directly proportional. So when you all remove the proportionality sign, you all get X. You all can see this formula over here. It's not X actually, it is susceptibility symbol. Okay, fine. So M is equal to X into H. So if you all keep X on one side, you all get M by H. Okay, fine. What else is there? Just a minute, okay, students? I'll just take out that PDF. Okay, why is it like this? Okay, cool. All right, so see, you are this numerical where you all are supposed to find the gyromagnetic ratio. Okay, fine. Next topic that was there, magnetization, magnetic intensity. What is magnetization, students? Magnetization is the net magnetic dipole moment upon volume. Magnetization means the dipole moments are set, right? They are aligned throughout the volume of the material. Okay, fine. This formula that is there, B naught is equal to mu naught N into I. Actually, we won't be using this formula because this is the solenoid formula that we have directly taken. Okay, the formula that we will be using is this one, the final one, that is B is equal to mu naught into H. Now here, students, you all are supposed to remember everything. What is mu R? Okay, what is mu R actually? What is mu? Okay, all these things, basically this entire derivation. Okay, fine. Because which formula to use, that will depend upon the numerical. All right, fine. This equation that is there, this equation gives me relation between the magnetic field, magnetic intensity and magnetization. Okay, B is equal to mu naught H plus M. So even this equation is important. I think so it is written over here. Everything is written over here. Just a minute. Just 1 second. Okay, students. You all can see you all cannot see the PDF, right?
We can see that.
Okay. Okay, wait. Just a second. Okay. I'll share it again. Wait. Okay, fine. So here, what else was there? I have already explained the solved example, students, during the sessions. So see to it that you all go through the solved examples as well. Okay, next the next topic that we did was paramagnetism, diamagnetism, and ferromagnetism, all that. Now here we did something called Curie's law. Okay, so here you all can remember this, or here instead of B we substitute mu naught H. So you all can remember this modified form. Okay, Curie's law, M is equal to C mu naught H upon T. Okay, fine. Next, any important formula? Just a minute. Hysteresis curve, there was no formula. No, I think so. That's it. We have covered up all the formulas and everything. Just hold on for 1 minute. Okay, here I'm having certain problem. Okay, fine. All right. Now, please let me know if you all can see the questions PDF. The textbook PDF you all can see, and also the sums PDF, the formula section that I'm showing to you all. दिख रहा है ना दोनों सबको?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. In case if any issue is happening, please let me know. All right. If you all are not able to see the PDF displayed. Okay. So students, here everything is summarized. Okay. Fine. All right. Now what we'll do is let us begin with the numericals. Okay. So first let us read this third question. Please concentrate on the third question. and I want you all to read it along with me. Okay, please pay attention and try to figure out, try to think what are the formulas that we can apply over here. Okay, fine. So see, when a plate of magnetic material of size 10 centimeter cross 0.5 cross 0.2, that is multiplication, length into breadth into height, all right, fine, is located in magnetizing field of 0.5 into 10 raised to 4 ampere per meter. Okay, fine. Now, students, this 0.5 into 10 raised to 4 ampere per meter, the question is, what is this value? Okay, fine. Let us read the
मैम
entire question first. Yes, yes.
मिस
हाँ,
फॉर्मूला पेज ही दिख रहा है.
अच्छा, ओके, फॉर्मूला पेज दिख रहा है, ठीक है, एक मिनट. स्टूडेंट्स बताओ तो सही एटलीस्ट. एक मिनट, रुको रुको. Just a minute, okay?